Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Okay. Oh, you can't hear. Good. That's what checking is for. It's all right. Hey guys, how are you? Good. The original link to the video, top of the description. Right below that, link to the Discord. Should I move this? I'm taking too much time. Let's go. So how Japan is building disaster-proof skyscrapers. Anyone who is from Turkey or anywhere around there, or Syria, and I've seen, the death toll numbers are insane. And if you are over there, then I hope you're doing the best that you possibly can. Let's go. How Japan is building disaster-proof skyscrapers.
Ground began to shake. 32 million people here in Tokyo braced themselves for the worst.
8.9 magnitude. Now we know that's a big number. It was the 5th largest earthquake in history.
But the real damage comes from the ferocious tsunami that was unleashed.
In some areas, the waves reached 40 meters in height,
Sweeping up everything in its path, including cars and ships, unable to withstand the strength and the power of the surging water.
Tossing cars like they're Legos.
Japan is located in the Pacific earthquake belt. This means the country is struck by some of the strongest earthquakes and tsunamis in the world. In the past decade, about 30 tropical storms have also hit the country each year. These natural disasters kill on average 100 to 200 people per year and take a huge toll on the country's economy. But learning from painful experience, Japan has built one of the world's best natural disaster response systems, which includes regular disaster preparedness drills and early warning alerts. Japanese engineers and architects have also pushed the boundaries of technology and design to create resilient, disaster-proof buildings.
So much respect for engineers. Do you have to be an engineer to be an architect? Because if you're designing a building, well, you have to know if it's going to be good structurally wise, right? I know, and like, do they work together, or do you have to have an engineering degree to be an architect?
This is Tokyo Skytree. At 634 meters,
sure they
it's
work
the
in
world's
tandem.
tallest tower. Designed for broadcasting and
Yep.
observation, the base of Skytree occupies a relatively small plot of land that isn't ideal for such a tall structure.
デザイナーとしては非常に緊張感のある細長い構造物になって、地震もそうなんですけれども、風が一番厳しい自然条件になります。でこの計画地が海から8キロぐらいしか離れてません。非常に海沿いに近いので、低いところでも強い風が吹くという、特殊な条件があったので。
Atsuo Konishi and his colleagues designed a steel truss tower, so instead of fighting against the wind, it can simply pass through the gaps between the trusses.
これは逆に普通のビルで採用しているいろんなデバイスだとか制振の方法が細くて高いこのビルに使えなかったので、このタワーの揺れを抑えるためにはどうしたらいいだろうとずっといろいろ知恵を絞っていった中で生み出されたので、そういう意味で他にないユニークなものになったのではないかなというふうに思っています。
To stabilize the tower, the team used a traditional Japanese design called shimbashira that dates back over 1,000 years. This is the flexible central pillar of a Japanese pagoda, which stabilizes the tiered wooden structure during an earthquake or typhoon, in a similar way to a tree trunk supporting its branches. A shimbashira has been found at the center of the world's oldest wooden structure, made from a tree felled in 594 AD. For Skytree, the team designed a 375-meter-tall concrete core column connected to the tower's steel outer frame by a series of flexible oil dampers, devices that control unwanted vibrations. The swaying of the core column and outer frame in opposite directions reduced the vibration of the entire tower by up to 50% during an earthquake and 30% during strong winds.
ここは心柱の中間地点なんですけれども、ちょうど心柱が動くようになっているかなり上の方の部分になります。で、こちら側が、コンクリートの心柱側で、こちら側が鉄骨造のタワー側になります。このスペースを使って、心柱がこう揺れて、タワー全体の動きを小さくする役割をするんですが、動きすぎるとタワーに鉄骨に当たってしまうので、それを制御するためにこのオイルダンパーという赤いデバイスがここにセットしてあります。オイルダンパーは免震建物用に開発されたデバイスを、ここに、少しここ用にチューニングして設計をしてもらって、取り付けてあります。
The core column is set on 6 seismic isolators made of rubber. These absorb unwanted movement and work together with the oil dampers at various heights.
ここは心柱の一番
Okay, so far they use a structure and that can really obviously easier done in a more slim tower than a big skyscraper, but a structure that allows wind to pass through so it doesn't, act like a sail and then catch all the wind and cause some damage. And then it also has a counterweight sort of system that whenever the wind is blowing in a certain direction, it can move the weight in a certain way to counteract that. That's what I've got so far.
下のところになって、ちょうどですね、直径8メートルあるコンクリートの心柱の姿が見やすい場所だと思います。で、心柱は直接基礎につけてしまうと非常に傷んでしまうので、こう見てわかるようなゴムで支えて柔らかく置いてあるような形にしてあります。このゴムは免震アイソレーターといって横に動くために鉄板とゴムを5層に積み重ねたものなんですけれども、こういう重いものはですね支えられるようなもので。
The top part of Skytree is a broadcasting antenna.
Did I get that? So the rubber is supporting that? Wouldn't the rubber just get squished like a pancake? Okay, all right.
To ensure high quality, the antenna needs.
And maybe if it does, it's fine.
The top part of Skytree is a broadcast.
I just wonder, like, if that rubber wasn't below that concrete, counterweight structure, would it be a lot taller and it was squished down, or is that just a super, super, super hard form of rubber?
Antenna. To ensure high quality, the antenna needs to stay as stable as possible. So 2 tuned mass damper systems were installed to reduce unwanted vibrations. One is set at an altitude of 625 meters and weighs 25 tons, and the other is at an altitude of 620 meters and weighs 40 tons. When the tower shakes, these 2 dampers act together as reverse pendulums, reducing vibrations caused by wind or an earthquake.
So it's kind of like if you're in a really strong wind and you lean slightly forward to kind of counteract the wind. This is if you're in super, super strong wind, right? So it's kind of like that. It's like here's a tower and the wind blows it kind of like this. But then the counterweight moves in a certain direction to kind of like a person standing in the wind can kind of like hunch over a little bit. Is that right?
When Skytree was designed in the late 2000s, architects and engineers flew weather balloons to collect data on wind speeds and build models which they tested in a wind tunnel. But for some building designs, this expensive and time-consuming process has been replaced by faster and cheaper software powered by artificial intelligence. After a decade of research, architectural engineering company Takinaka has developed a Typhoon simulation software called Kazumidori.
その用途としては、いくつかあるんですけども、例えば建物や部材に作用する風の力を計算できるためですね、建物の骨組みやガラスの厚さなどの設計に活用しています。その他建物が風でどのくらい揺れるかといった評価も可能ですので、いくつかの建物形状に対して計算した結果を比較してですね、 風に揺れにくい建物をデザインすることが非常に容易になっています。
So I'm assuming the red means, you know, where the wind has the most force most of the time on a given building. So, okay.
風に揺れにくい建物をデザインすることが非常に容易になっています。またですね、
I find it so fascinating how aerodynamics and what's it called? Hydrodynamics are so similar. Like a submarine and an airplane work almost exactly the same, just in two different mediums, one being water and one air. And it's obvious the more you think about it, but it's really cool.
台風の再現ではなく、今後
Like
増加が
submarines are basically flying through the water, or you could say planes are swimming in the air, sort of thing.
懸念されるスーパー台風をですね、想定できるため、台風被害のリスク評価に活用することも可
I
能
didn't read what you're saying. Sorry.
の再現では、またですね、過去の台風の再現ではなく、今後増加が懸念されるスーパー台風をですね、想定できるため、台風被害のリスク評価に活用することも可能になっています。
For a 3-kilometre square urban area, it usually takes 3 months to build a model, conduct a wind tunnel test, and get the results. But with Takinaka's software, the entire process can happen in just 2 or 3 days, and its engineers are trying to reduce that down to half a day.
You see how the
Get the
air...
results.
You see how this thing kind of breaks the airflow? So I don't know if it would be worth it or even feasible, but could you essentially make a bunch of these things around the city, and then that would kind of break up the airflow, kind of like how man-made like water barriers out in the ocean kind of break up the wave a little bit before it reaches land? Obviously, it would be pretty hideous to look at, and probably not very easy to build, but couldn't it work in the same way that a storm barrier works on water? I don't know.
But with Takinaka's software, the entire process can happen in just 2 or 3 days, and its engineers are trying to reduce that down to half a day.
計算精度は、空洞実験と同様レベルぐらいになっておりますし、それから、データ同化技術を取り入れて、対象地域の、観測データの結果に数値シミュレーションの結果を近づけるような機能は、この風見鶏の特徴の一つになっています。適用した物件は東京のホテルですとか、九州のマンション、集合住宅ですとか、あとは大阪の、小規模な建物、そういったところに、これまでの適用実績があります。
Japanese architects are also experimenting with unconventional building materials for high-rises. Skyscrapers are usually built from concrete or steel because they're strong and cost-effective, but building from wood is more environmentally friendly. Compared with the production of steel and concrete, production of timber consumes less energy and releases less carbon dioxide. New trees can also be planted to absorb emissions. But building tall structures with wood offers up its own engineering and financial challenges. That didn't stop Japanese construction company Maeda from trying though.
鉄骨のいいところっていうのは、鉄骨は引っ張る力には強いんですけど、その逆ですね、圧縮をする、押しつぶす力。
And isn't concrete also the complete opposite? That it's not great with, it's pretty weak in pulling, but in compression it's super strong.
には弱いんですね。引っ張るのは強いんだけど、押しつぶすのには弱いっていうのが、これ鉄骨の特徴です。で、逆に木材は本当全く逆で、押しつぶされる圧縮する力には強いんですけど、引っ張られる力には弱いんですね。というところで、今回その鉄と木を使っている理由としては、それぞれのいいところは出せて、 で弱いところを補えるというところが、その木と鉄のそのいいところになるんですね。
So I thought that concrete did the same thing, and I think it does, but concrete can't be, I guess, easily put into these shapes as steel can. So when you're talking about like it's doing a lattice structure there, but like a support beam using just concrete in that way, I guess would be a little bit sketchy. So using wood and steel and concrete still, I guess using them all together to compensate for each other's downside.
Maeda is going to construct a
Guys,
13...
I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, okay? I'm just saying stuff that I think. I'm no architect or engineer, so if I'm saying stuff that is completely wrong, I can see that being the case, and just correct me down below.
...story wood and steel hybrid office building in Tokyo Shibuya district. To make the building earthquake-proof, designers came up with a hybrid lattice structure that will support the walls and create a more user-friendly experience.
もともと木造、建物、要は住宅とかなんかは木材で作ってたわけですので、木材を、その耐震要素だとか、台風要素ですね、風に対する要素として使っているというのは、それこそもう何千年も前から行われてたことなので、決してそれ自体は新しくはないです。でただそれをですね、その鉄骨造の中に木材を耐震要素として使ってたかと言われると、それは今まではなかなか使われてきませんでした。
アピールしたいっていう思いが非常にありました。ただ構造体として使うためにはガラスの外に出してしまうと、やはり雨風でさらされて劣化してしまってどんどん強度が落ちてしまうと問題があるので、ガラスの中に入れて外から見えるようなものにしようというふうに考えました。住環境というところを考えても、建物の中で
Yeah, and it looks nice. It can affect workers in a positive way. That's true. Good point.
考えても、建物の中で、今回オフィスビルだったり一部店舗がありますけれども、建物の中で働いている方に対して、木というのがさまざまな科学的な良い影響を与えるというのが最近分かってきています。例えばその香りが、もたらすもので、リラックス効果が得られたりとか、光の反射をですね抑える効果があったりだとか、それからもう一つですね、これはこのビルではなくって別のところで実際にデータを取ったものなんですけれども、空気のその部屋の中の空気の温度ですね、そういったものが鉄筋コンクリートの建物だと足元がすごく寒くて頭がなんかぼわっとする暑さが冬の暖房の時期にあるんですけれども、そういったものも一律で部屋の中全体を温めるような効果があるということで。
These designs and technologies have helped high-rise buildings to withstand typhoons and earthquakes, and now many low-rise buildings in Japan are starting to adopt them as well. Some vulnerabilities still exist, like older buildings constructed before regulations were tightened in 1981. With natural disasters becoming more and more frequent, these innovative designs and technologies could be key to protecting the economy and lives both in Japan and around the world.
Cool video. Really interesting. I love this sort of stuff, engineering stuff. I tried to get into physics in college. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I eventually ended up on history, deciding on history degree, but to be honest, I don't feel like an historian, so I didn't really know what I wanted to do in college. I was finally doing pretty well my senior year in high school. In school, my grades were getting better, and I got into college, and so my freshman year in college, my confidence in school was at like an all-time high, which meant like I was like, all right, what do I want to do? Engineering would be cool, and I go into it, and you soon find out like this isn't some sort of something that you just decide you want to do freshman year in college. No, if you want to be an engineer, this is just my experience. If someone else wants, I'm not trying to dissuade people from it, but I wasn't smart enough. Okay, I was okay with the first classes, but once you get into the serious physics classes and stuff like that, I was out of my league. I couldn't do it. And so I have always had this giant respect for engineers because I know you have to be really smart to do that. Love this stuff. Hope you guys are doing well. Love y'all. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, today. I'm going to do another video. All right. Bye, guys.